terrific travelers. My name is Ari and it is day 3 here at Rocky Railway. We are learning that Jesus' power pulls us through any type of circumstance. How excited are you for another fun day? I know I am. So go ahead and stand to your feet for our first worship song of the day. Your power will pull us through.
We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us whole and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey. There's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us whole and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey. There's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us whole and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you.
Wow, Jesus' power does pull us through. And I think you guys are ready to start the day. Hearing you sing is one of my favorite sounds in the world. Now it is time for us to go ahead and do our God sightings. God sightings are whenever we see evidence of God's work in our lives. It can be in the stars or in the trees. It can even be in your favorite plate of pasta. God is everywhere, and we can see him in all of the good things in our life. One God sighting that I had is that while I was driving this morning, I got to see the mountains in the distance. God made every single mountain, and he spent so much time on all of them, and we get to see them every single day. How cool is that? Isn't it cool that God gave us mountains and trees and the entire big blue sky? God can be seen everywhere. Now you guys are going to go ahead and have some time to share your God sightings with someone in your family. We'll go ahead and do that right now. guys, your God sightings are incredible. Isn't it so cool that we can see God everywhere we go? That leads us into our next song for worship, Everywhere I Go.
Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. This my home, come what may. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. There's a spirit I cannot contain. There's a spirit I cannot contain. The same power that raised Jesus up from the grave. The same spirit I cannot contain. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. This my home, come what may. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. Breath upon these bones, your fire in my soul. Your kingdom is my home, and I don't walk alone. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. This my home, come what may. Where I go with you. Everywhere I go on this road, high and low, where I go with you. So I won't be afraid. This my home, come what may. Where I go with you. Where I go with you. Where I go with you.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to talk about train whistles. Train whistles are big and bold, and they make really loud noises when you blow into them, as you know, because you all have train whistles. Right, but sometimes God wants us to be big and bold too, just like our train whistles. So God gives us the power to be big and bold in our lives. One time that I had to be bold in my life for God was when I had to invite some of my classmates to church. It was really scary and they didn't believe in God, but I still had to go up to them and I still had to tell them about Jesus because Jesus is important to me. And even though it was unpopular or scary, I still had to be bold and tell my friends about Jesus. That's an example of a time when you guys can be bold in your own lives. Now, sometimes we have to stand up for what we believe. God calls us to be bold in our lives. And that brings us to today's Bible point. Can I get a drum roll? Today's Bible point is that Jesus' power helps us to be bold. And what does bold mean? Being bold is when you are daring, when you are brave, and when you stand up for something that you believe in. Jesus gives us the power to be bold in our lives. You can be bold and talk to your friend about God, or you can be bold and stand up for what you believe in. Jesus' power helps us to be bold. Trust Jesus. Come on guys, stand to your feet and we're gonna do it again, one more time. Trust Jesus. Okay guys, that is great. And since Jesus' power helps us to be bold, we are going to stay standing and we are going to sing another worship song about being big and bold called the Power Shuffle.
Feel it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. everywhere. It's the power. Yeah, yeah, God's power. It's the power to move any star. It's the power to heal your broken heart. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. So don't hold back, no, don't hold still. And God is here and He is real. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now freeze. And everybody clap your hands. Now stop. I feel it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power. Yeah, yeah, God's power. It's the power to move any star. It's the power to heal your broken heart. It's the power. Yeah, God's power. So don't hold back, no, don't hold still. God is here and He is real. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. Let's do it all again right now. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now freeze. And everybody clap your hands. Now stop.
Okay, kids, that was awesome. So, today's Bible point is that Jesus' power helps us to be bold, and we can trust Jesus. 1, 2, 3. Trust Jesus. So, I wonder what animal is going to help us learn that Bible point. Stay tuned to find out.
Is everyone on board for another exciting day? I'm roaring to go. My name is Sierra, and I'm a mountain lion. Now, you might think lions only belong in Africa, but North America has their lions too. My friends and I go by other names like pumas, panthers, catamounts, and cougars. That's because I live all over the western part of the globe, and different people have different names for me. In fact, aside from humans, no other mammal covers such a large range of territory. I am one cool cat, aren't I? My tawny fur doesn't start out like this. As a baby, I had spots. I think God gave me those so I'd blend in with the tall grass where my mother hid me. After my brothers and sisters and I were old enough to hunt, we left our pride and went out on our own. Most of the time, I'm pretty quiet. After all, if I'm making a lot of noise, it's gonna be hard for me to sneak up on my lunch. Shh, be quiet. A girl's gotta eat. Of course, there are times when I need to make a big, bold noise. Even though I look a lot like a lion, I don't roar. I've got a pretty intimidating scream, though. Isn't that the cat's meow? When I need to catch a meal, I have to move fast. I'm glad God gave me such powerful legs to run, jump, and pounce. Without those mighty muscles, I'd go hungry. God made my legs so powerful, mountain lions can jump up to 18 feet high and 40 feet long. That'd be like me jumping on top of your house. God created me with muscles to leap and pounce. Sometimes you need to boldly leap or pounce on an opportunity. Maybe it's hard to be bold when you need to make a new friend. Tell the truth. Or boldly talk about Jesus. The Bible has this powerful promise for you. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. You can trust that Jesus' power will give you the strength you need to be bold. Jesus is right with you, cheering you on all the way. Pounce on the opportunity. Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus.
Our Bible memory buddy today was Sierra the mountain lion. And mountain lions are big and bold. And so we have a perfect song to help you guys learn what it means to be big and bold for Jesus. Go ahead and stand to your feet for our next song, Lions.
Today we live, today we breathe, today we know that we are strong when we are weak. Today we trust, we overcome, take every chain that kept us slaves and throw them off. We're not waiting for permission, we defy our inhibition, like our middle name is fearless, unafraid. If we're gonna fly, we fly like eagles, arms out wide. If we're gonna fear, we fear no evil. We will rise, by your power we will go, by your spirit we are bold. If we're gonna stand, we stand as giants. If we're gonna walk, we walk as lions. Today we live, today we breathe, today we know that we are strong when we are weak. Today we trust, we overcome, take every chain that kept us slaves and throw them off. We're not waiting for permission, we defy our inhibition, like our middle name is fearless, unafraid. If we're gonna fly, we fly like eagles, arms out wide. If we're gonna fear, we fear no evil. We will rise, by your power we will go, by your spirit we are bold. If we're gonna stand, we stand as giants. If we're gonna walk, we walk as lions. It was awesome!
I heard some great news this morning. Cam and his crew finally fixed the tracks, and now they can make all of their deliveries. Let's give them a round of applause. Woo, Cam! Woo!
Did I just hear my name? Were you guys talking about me? Were you cheering for me?
We are. Aren't you excited to finally be able to make all of your deliveries?
Oh, yeah. So excited. Can't wait. Look, there's a squirrel over there.
Cam? Why are you hiding?
If you see a train conductor anywhere, just tell him that I tell him that I went to water my lawn.
Cam, I don't know why you're hiding, but you should just get up and tell us. Maybe we can help.
Maybe you're right. I just need a disguise. What do you think?
Unless you're trying to disguise yourself as a tree, I don't think that's gonna work. Just tell us what's going on.
The conductor pointed out to me that in order to go down the mountain, we have to go up and over a really steep hill. Now he's trying to find me so we can go. You know, full steam ahead.
I thought that's what you wanted to do. You know, make all your deliveries?
It is. It's just I'd never driven my train over such a steep hill. I've driven over little hills, long flat plains, crazy curvy bends, tall bridges. I'm just nervous about going up and down such a steep hill.
You know, doing new things can take courage and boldness, and that's why I'm so glad that we don't have to do those things alone. Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus. Say it with me, kids. Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus. You don't have to face it with your own power. You can just trust that the one strong enough to create the mountain is strong enough to get you over it.
Wow, I guess I never really thought about it like that.
We have some songs that might help give you the boldness to tackle this new challenge. They'll help you remember that Jesus' power helps us be bold. Trust Jesus. One more time, kids. Trust Jesus.
Okay, that might actually help a lot. I'll stick around while you guys sing some songs that remind me about Jesus' power. Then I'll go tell the conductor that I'm ready to go. Bye, everyone.
We believe in you, Cam.
Hey guys, it's Nicole, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys the memory verse. So, I'm going to have some of my friends come on up and help us. Thank you so much, guys, for coming and helping me today. So, first let's start with the memory verse. So today's memory verse is, He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless, Isaiah 40:29. So, let's come on up and see what our friends have. All right, so the memory verse, once again, is, He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless, Isaiah 40:29. So to make this challenging, we're going to have some of our friends put some of the words away and see if we can figure it out. So let's see the first balloon go. All right, let's see this. He gives, oh no, we have one of the words missing. Do you guys know what it is? If you guessed power, you guys are correct. Now let's move on to the next words. To the weak and strength to the powerless, Isaiah 40:29. Now let's make this even more challenging and get rid of the second balloon. All right, guys, let's do this once again. He gives power to the weak. Oh no, we have another balloon missing. What do you guys think it is? If you guys guessed and strength, you guys are correct. To the powerless, Isaiah 40:29. Now, let's say this all together. Are you ready? He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Isaiah 40:29. Great job, you guys. You guys did amazing. So, if you have a chance, go to one of your members of your household and tell them the memory verse. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys did an amazing job. I'll see you guys soon.
Hi guys, welcome to Imagination Station. I'm Josh, and I'm so glad you guys are here. But you know what I have to ask, right? Did you bring your imagination? Uh-oh, it seems like some of you guys have forgotten your imagination, and we really need it today. Today, I talked with my friend Sierra. She is a mountain lion. And you know what Sierra and her friends told me? Mountain lions can jump up to 15 feet. That's higher than most ceilings. Now, do you think we could jump as high as them? Let's try it. On the count of 3, get up and jump as high as you can. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 3. That was fun, but I don't think we were even close to the height of Sierra. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3. Man, that was fun, but I don't think we'll ever get to the height of Sierra without a trampoline, that is. Sierra and her friends are so cool. Now it's time to ask the starter question of the day, which is, what is stronger in a mountain lion? A mountain lion's sense of hearing or its sense of smell? Now I'm going to give you guys like 5 seconds to answer that. So come up with your answers quick and ask around your house if you need to. Okay, do you have your answer? Let's get a drum roll on the count of 3. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And the answer is a mountain lion has a stronger sense of hearing. Isn't that crazy? All right, guys, now it's time for today's fun sciencey gizmo. Behold, the Bold Blaster. Let's see what this thing can do. It goes nowhere. It's like a dud. Let's try it one more time. Nope, still nothing. I guess the Bold Blaster wasn't very bold today. Something seems to be missing. Do you know what it is? Yes, it's the power pack. You put this right here, and this thing will go shooting up, and it will be bold. Watch this. 3, 2, 1. Do you see how high that went? Let's do it one more time. Oh, that's awesome. Wow, that was really amazing. Did you see how high the Bold Blaster jumped? That was absolutely amazing. See, sometimes we're like the Bold Blaster, where we're kind of a dud. Without Jesus in our lives, we can go nowhere, and we can't reach new heights. But when we add the power pack, now I want you to imagine the power pack as Jesus. And when you add Jesus to your lives, you can reach new heights. And remember the Bible point today. Jesus' power gives us boldness to reach new heights. Trust Jesus. Say trust Jesus on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Trust Jesus. All right, guys, thank you for joining me on today's Imagination Station. Now I'm going to send you away with, you know what we do, the train whistle. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hey kids, my name is Amy. Welcome back to another part of this story, of this 5-part story. This is part 3, day 3. Hope you guys have been enjoying it. So let's do a little recap. So if you guys don't remember from yesterday, we talked about Ringu and how his foot was finally healed and he went back to school, but his teacher took his paper. But he got it back, and on his way home, he saw Sahib and Pandu setting up something, and that's where we leave off. So when they finally got to Sahib and Pandu, they saw that they were setting up this white sheet, and they were setting up to speak to people. And on this white sheet was a picture of Jesus. And Sahib said that Jesus was born and that he came and lived a perfect life, and that he died on the cross for their sins, and that his power was greater than any other power, than any of the evil spirits. And Ringu couldn't help but wonder, could this be true? And so when the presentation was done, Ringu's father told them to go back to the field and start working again. So when they started working again, and once they were done, they decided to go back and check if they were still there. And they were still there, but they were putting all their stuff away in their Jeep. So Ringu decided to ask Sahib how long was he going to be there. And Sahib answered, well, there's only 1 day left. And that's when Ringu got kind of sad, because he wanted to learn more about God. It was interesting to him to see that there was just this one true God that was more powerful than any of the evil spirits. So he figured if he can't have Sahib, he'll just take the piano. So he and his little brother Batu decided to go and take the piano back to a shelter in the field. And there they decided that they would protect it and hide it. But as they were doing this, Ringu couldn't help but think, is this sinning? Because he had heard Sahib say that God didn't like sin. So they ended up falling asleep, and Ringu woke up in the middle of the night, and he saw something moving, and he didn't know what it was. He saw an animal, and he didn't know what type of animal it was, so he woke up his little brother Batu, and they tried to see what type of animal it was, and in a split second, he saw stripes. It's a tiger, Ringu said. And when he saw the tiger, he and Batu were very, very scared, and they tried to call for help, but there was no one around because they were in a field. So all they could do was just hold on for the rest of the night and try to hide from the tiger. So the next morning, they made it through the night. And the next morning, they went back to the village, and a man was there, and he was shouting, news, news. And Ringu couldn't help but think, could this be the tiger that he was talking about? And sure enough, it was news because a man had been taken in the middle of the night by the tiger. And he couldn't help but think, that's the tiger that we saw. And as soon as they saw that, the villagers started putting up a team to go hunt the tiger down. And in that team was Ringu's father. And Ringu's father decided to put Ringu in the team as well. So Ringu was very flattered that his father thought that he could go and hunt this tiger. But he was also very, very scared. And that's when he saw Grub Sahib running towards them. So Sahib asked what was going on. And Ringu told him about the situation. He told him about the tiger and the way that he was going to go and hunt the tiger down. But Sahib couldn't help but notice that Ringu was a little bit scared, so he asked him, "You don't seem too eager to go." And Ringu told him the truth, that he was afraid that the tiger would eat him and that the evil spirits would eat him too. And Sahib told him about a story in the Bible about a man who was filled with these evil spirits, so powerful that he couldn't be held by chains, and he lived in a cemetery and everybody was scared of him. And then Sahib told him about Jesus and the way that Jesus came and set him free from all of these spirits, because Jesus' power was stronger than that of the spirits. And Ringu couldn't help but think that Jesus' power was more powerful than any of the evil spirits that he was worshiping. So Sahib continued his story and he told Ringu that he was a sinner. And Ringu thought, oh no, he knows about the piano. But then Sahib continued and he said that God still loved him as a sinner and that he came to die for him to forgive his sins. And this is when Ringu decided that he was going to give his life to Jesus, which he did. They prayed together and Ringu gave his life to Jesus. And that's when he told Sahib, I don't think I need this charm anymore, because Ringu had a rope around his neck, and that rope was supposed to protect him from the spirits, but he knew that now he had the protection of Jesus aside from the protection of that rope. So Ringu snapped off the rope and he felt free from all of those evil spirits. But when he got to his house, his parents noticed that the rope was gone, and they asked him, where's your rope? The evil spirits are going to come and attack you. And Ringu said to them, I have found the one true God, who is more powerful than any of these spirits. And his parents told him, that's not what we believe here. That's not normal. You shouldn't be believing in these things. So he told them that Jesus was more powerful than all of these spirits and that he was going to serve him with his life. And he knew that tonight when he was going to go hunt that tiger, that he could ask God for help and that God would come and help him. All right, kids, that was our story for the day. You guys will find out what happens next, what happens to the tiger hunt, all of that. But for now, let's see if you guys are paying attention. Let's start our review questions. So number 1, what did Ringu and Batu see while they were guarding the field? And the answer is, they saw a tiger. Very scary. Everybody make a roar. Roar! Review question number 2. Who did Sahib say could help Ringu on the tiger? And the answer is God, that God could help him and give him the power through this tiger hunt. All right, kids, you guys did great today. Thank you for listening. Tune in tomorrow to see what happens with this tiger hunt.
Hey kids, my name is Ari and I am so glad that you are joining us tonight for evening chapel. This whole week, we have been learning about Jesus' power. Today's Bible point was that Jesus' power makes us bold. Now, to be bold is to take risks. It's to be daring, brave, and courageous.
So, before we begin, in order to get you all in bold moods, we are going to go ahead and strike our best superhero pose. So I'm going to ask you to stand to your feet and get ready and put on your superhero face. Are you guys ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Great job, guys. I know you all look great. So today's awesome and powerful story is about the book of Acts, chapter 3. To start, let's travel to the city of Jerusalem. Now, Jerusalem is a real city in the continent of Asia, and it's where our story today takes place. So, one day in Jerusalem, something incredibly bold happened outside of the city's temple gate. Let's start. Every single day, a man sat outside of the gate. Every single day. You see, this man couldn't walk. Can you imagine not being able to walk? Now, these days when people can't walk, they usually get a wheelchair, right? But back then they didn't have wheelchairs. So this man had to sit outside of the city's temple gate every day for 40 years. Can you imagine not being able to walk or run or even stand for 40 years? Ugh. But that was this man's life. And since this man couldn't walk, he couldn't get a job. And so, all he could do was sit outside of the gate with his hands cupped together and ask for change. And every once in a while, someone would toss a coin or two, but for the most part, people would glance at him and then look away. But on this particularly bold day, 2 men named John and Peter saw the man, and they really saw him, and they didn't glance away. And they said something incredibly powerful to this man. They said, "I don't have any silver or gold for you, but I'll give you what I have. In the name of Jesus, get up and walk." And can you believe it? This man started walking. 40 years he sat outside of the temple gate. And John and Peter, through the power of Jesus, were able to make him walk. And he stood up and walked for the first time in his life. That is crazy, isn't it? Jesus' power really makes us bold, as you can see with what happened with John and Peter. Now, this is great, isn't it? John and Peter were able to heal a man. And it feels good and it sounds good, but back then it sparked quite a commotion. A huge crowd gathered around them, and that's when the second incredibly bold thing happened. Peter and John stood up and started teaching about Jesus. They told the crowd who Jesus was and what he stood for, and that he had died for their sins. They told the crowd that they needed Jesus as their Savior. And that made some people in the crowd very angry. See, not everyone in the town of Jerusalem was a fan of Jesus. Some people in the town, including a lot of Jerusalem's leaders, thought that Jesus was a liar. They thought that Christians who talked about Jesus were liars too. You know, that makes me wonder something, guys. And I have a question for you. When is it hard or unpopular for you to talk about Jesus? What are some times in your life where you've been unable to talk about Jesus out of fear of being unpopular? We'll go ahead and talk about that with someone in your household for the next couple seconds. Great answers, guys. It can really be hard to talk about Jesus sometimes, can't it? But Jesus' power gives us the power to be bold. It sounds like you have an idea or two about what it was like for Christians in Jerusalem. Now I have another question for you. Were John and Peter bold? Why or why not? Now, let's continue our story. Peter and John had made a bold decision, not only to heal a man, but to also stand up and teach about Jesus when it was very unpopular. They had two decisions at the time: stay quiet and be safe, or take a risk, teach about Jesus, and be bold. Now, let's talk about that. When Peter and John were in Jerusalem, it was incredibly unpopular to talk about Jesus, just like you guys may feel sometimes. But Jesus' power gives us the ability to be bold and talk about him in ways that we never have before. Now, they boldly stood up and told the leaders about Jesus. They told him, "We can't obey you instead of Jesus. We're not going to stop telling people about what we've seen and what we've heard." Wow, that is bold. They stood up and took a stand. And you can too, because Jesus gives us the power to be bold. Now, I have this bowl, and if I light this match, okay guys, I have this fire in front of me, and in normal circumstances, with my normal human body, if I put my hand into this flame, it would burn, right? Fire is hot. But if I put on this glove right here, I have the ability to put my hand inside of the fire. How cool is that, guys, right? And if you look at my hand, it's perfectly fine. Now, Jesus' power is kind of like this. You see, this is a risky situation, and by myself all alone, I would get hurt if I tried to do this. I would be in real big trouble if I tried to put my hand in this fire. But with this glove, with Jesus' protection, I am able to put my hand inside of this fire. Just like how, when you have Jesus' power, you are able to stand up and make bold decisions. That was a great lesson, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put out this fire. Don't forget, Jesus' power makes us bold. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I am so happy for you guys for learning today's lesson, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and close in prayer. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here today in order to learn about your might and all of your power, Lord. I pray that you give these kids the power and the ability to be bold and brave. Lord, your power gives us such strength and such might, God, and so we thank you for the things that your power is able to do for us. Please stay with these kids, make them bold. Amen.
Hey guys, welcome back to Rocky Wrap Up. Let's go ahead and stand to our feet to sing a song that signals to us that Rocky Wrap Up is beginning. Go ahead and stand to your feet, for your power will pull us through.
We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us bold and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey. There's no looking back. track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us whole, and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey. There's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us whole, and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you.
Welcome to day 3 of Rocky Wrap Up. My name is Ari and I am your conductor. So, I have an activity for us. Go ahead and whisper one word. Whisper one word that tells me the most fun thing that you did today. Go ahead. Wait, I can't hear you guys. Okay, come on. Give one big Rocky Railway shout that tells me the most fun thing that you did today. Wow, guys, that sounds really, really fun. You guys had a really fun day today, but the fun is not over yet because we have so many awesome songs and activities to do. So go ahead and stand to your feet for our next worship song.
Today we live, today we breathe, today we know that we are strong when we are weak. Today we trust, we overcome, take every chain that kept us slaves and throw them off. We're not waiting for permission, we defy our inhibition, like our middle name is fearless, unafraid. If we're gonna fly, we fly like eagles, arms held wide. If we're gonna fear, we fear no evil. We will rise. By your power, we will go. By your spirit, we are bold. If we're gonna stand, we stand as giants. If we're gonna walk, we walk as lions. Today we live, today we breathe, today we know that we are strong when we are weak. Today we trust, we overcome, take every chain that kept us slaves and throw them off. We're not waiting for permission, we defy our inhibition, like our middle name is fearless, unafraid. If we're gonna fly, we fly like eagles, arms held wide. If we're gonna fear, we fear no evil. We will rise. By
Okay guys, today we are learning that Jesus' power helps us to be bold. Trust Jesus. Go ahead and say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Trust Jesus. Okay, we're learning that Jesus' power helps us to be bold. So we're going to go ahead and take some time to think about what it means to be bold. What does being bold mean to you guys? Go ahead and take some time to share with someone in your household. Okay guys, that was great discussion time. Some words that make you, okay guys, that was a great discussion time. Being bold makes you think of being strong and being courageous, being daring, and doing things that feel a little bit scary at first. But sometimes we don't always feel bold, do we? Sometimes it's hard to make the unpopular decision, right guys? Sometimes things seem a little too scary and you don't feel like being bold. Do you guys know what I mean? Right. But the cool thing about Jesus, the thing that we're learning today, is that even when we feel really, really small and really, really scared, Jesus' power gives us the ability to be bold and strong. And so even when you guys feel scared or frightened that something is going to go wrong when you stand up for what you believe in, know that Jesus is there with you. Jesus is always there with you. And he is giving you the power to be bold and stand up for what you believe in. And so sometimes it's scary. And so you can talk to your friends about Jesus too. You can talk to your family about Jesus. Even if you feel scared to share your love for Christ, you can always do it because Jesus' power gives us the ability to be bold and stand up for what we believe in. Awesome, guys. So don't forget to share your God sightings. Share times when God shows you that he's working in your life, because when you're bold, you can help others be bold and share their love for God. How cool is that? That God can work through us to help others. I think it's awesome. Okay guys, so we are going to stand up. We are going to stand up boldly and we are going to do one more worship song. Go ahead and stand up to your feet.
This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. 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 Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train. Okay, now let's bring it down. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train. Oh, this train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train. This train.
great, guys. The last song that we did was called This Train is Bound for Glory. But what does that mean? When we're bold and we talk about Jesus, we glorify him. We make others think more about Jesus, and because of that, we can help lead others in how they should love God. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, we are going to do a quick prayer for times when we feel scared and not very bold. Jesus, sometimes we feel weak when it comes to standing up for you or talking about you. Please wrap your power around us and help us to be bold, God. Help us to love you and love others with your awesome power. Amen. Okay, guys, that was great. And don't forget that whenever you feel scared or frightened to stand up and speak about Jesus or God to someone that you know, you can always go to God and you can always pray to him to give you some of his boldness so that way you might be able to. That was an awesome prayer time with you guys. Now we are going to stand up for our last worship song of Day 3 Kids Camp, Power in the Blood. Go ahead and stand to your feet and get ready to worship. And we're back! Okay guys, we have come to the end of the line for Day 3 at Rocky Railway. Thank you for being here with us and doing all of our activities and dancing to all of the worship songs together. It was awesome and we loved spending so much time with you today. But I will see you guys on Day 4 of Kids Camp, and it is going to be even better because we are going to be spending more time together and listening to some more awesome worship songs. It was great having you guys here, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Bye, guys!